It's Thursday, August the 6th, and that means that it is time for Thursday's Thoughts. Hard to believe that we are in the month of August. That blows my mind that we're in the month of August, but we are. And it is a hot, hot month, and it's a hot, hot day right now, today. And I just wanted to share with you a little bit. It's really what I preached on this past Sunday, but I wanted to share the thought with you that, a lot of times we have things that happen that we didn't see coming. We have those days where something unexpected is thrown at us, a curveball, if you will. We say that phrase, I didn't see that coming. Yesterday was one of those kind of days for me personally. It's those days that remind us, or should remind us, that God's in control. When everything seems out of control, and we're definitely not in control, God's in control. No matter what happens, there's reasons why God allows us to go through those unexpected things in our lives. And I'm reminded of the verse that we all know so very well in Luke chapter 9, verse 23 and 24. Then he said to them all, whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life will save it for me. You see, he asks us to daily count that cost, to take up our cross, and no matter what, be willing to follow him. Even when things don't go the way we had planned on them going, even when things are difficult, or even when we get blindsided by something, we're still supposed to take up that cross daily and follow him. And he promises us that when we do that, he'll take care of us. And the reason why I believe, and this is what I talked about Sunday, what I believe, the reason why God allows us to go through those blindside moments, those unexpected journeys, if you will, is number one, he knows our potential better than we do. He knows our potential. And we need to realize that a lot of times God knows us. He sees more in us than we see in ourselves. And we would never think we could go through some of the things that he allows us to go through, because he knows our potential. Even if it's something tough, he knows our potential. And so he allows us sometimes to do things or to go through things that are difficult. He also allows us to enjoy some good things when we didn't expect it, because he knows our potential and how we can use things for his good and his glory. So he allows those things so that when you have that unexpected moment, when you have that I didn't see it coming moment, or that just blindsided me moment, remember that God knows your potential better than you do. And don't ever forget that, because if he knows my potential and he allows me to have one of those I didn't see that coming moments, then he knows that I have the potential for him to use this for his glory and for my good, because we know that he knows what's best for us. Not always what we think is best for us, but he knows what's best for us. So he knows our potential. He sees our potential. That's why he allows us many times to have those I didn't see that coming moment, or be blindsided every once in a while. And another reason I believe he allows us to do that is he knows our purpose. God had created each one of us with a purpose. Um, the psalmist says this in Psalm 139, verses 13 through 16. For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. My frame wasn't hidden from you when I was made in the secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. You see, he knit us together. And I don't know a whole lot about knitting, but I do know this. You don't just sit down and start randomly knitting and after a while see what you come up with. I know that you have to have a plan and you have a purpose. When you sit down to start knitting, you begin to knit with something in mind that you are making. So don't ever forget that God has a purpose for our lives, and it's up to us as to whether we follow that purpose or not. And there are times when we do and times when we don't. But he knows his purpose for you. And so sometimes he allows us to have those I didn't see that coming moment, that I just got blindsided moment, or I didn't want that to happen moment, because he knows first off our potential and how he can use us. And secondly, he knows because he created us, he knit us together. So he knows our purpose, what he wants to do with us. And it's our job to follow him in that purpose, to submit ourselves 100% to him so that he can fulfill the purpose that he created us, or so that we can fulfill the purpose that he created us to fulfill. And that's our choice, whether we do that or not. And we make mistakes along the way and we miss out on some of the blessings that he had intended for us. But when we follow him, even in those tough times, then he blesses us and we're able to fulfill the purpose that he had for us. I just want to encourage you with that today. We're going through a tough time with COVID-19. School's about to start back, and there are so many unanswered questions, and there's so many folks that don't know what to do, whether they're going to go virtual or be in the classroom. We don't know how long they may be in the classroom before we have to quarantine again. We just don't know. There's so many questions. But I can promise you this. God knows. And he hadn't taken a break. He's still in charge. He knows our potential. So he's going to walk us through whatever it is we have to go through. And he knows the purpose that he created us for. And he will fulfill that in our lives if we open the door and are available to him and allow him to do that. And that's where I struggle so many times. I don't make myself available, or I'm late making myself available. And I've said this a lot of times, but delayed obedience is really disobedience. When God taps on our shoulder, or when we get that blind side, he doesn't want us to wait a few days and then be available to him. He wants us to be available right then to go ahead and do whatever it is he wants to use that for. So we need to be available to him when he wants us and where he wants us. So don't ever forget that. And that should be an encouragement to you to know that whatever you might be facing, make yourself available right where you are, because that's when God wants you, is right now. And where he wants you is where you find yourself. And you allow him then to work in your life. He knows your potential and the purpose that he made you for. And so don't ever doubt that. And let that be an encouragement to you when you do have those moments that you didn't see coming. Again, I preached on that this past Sunday, so some of you have heard that before, but that's okay. It's worth hearing again, I think. But that's just kind of where I've been today. Like I said, yesterday was one of those kind of days that I didn't see coming, and that's okay, because God is in charge and he knows what he's doing. And I had a blessing last night. I got to baptize a teenage girl who God has gotten a hold of her, and she said she wanted to go deeper with God. She wanted to take it to the next level. And so we were able to baptize her on live stream last night, and that was such a blessing. So after a day of frustration, what a blessing it was to be able to have the privilege to be obedient to God's command and baptize that girl last night upon her profession of faith. And so God knows what he's doing, and he's going to bless you if you let him just do what he wants to do with you, when he wants you and where he wants you, and then let him handle it. So I hope that will be an encouragement to you today. That's just, like I said, that's kind of where I've been this week. And I'm learning that when I preach on something on Sunday, I probably need to get ready that week, because God may test me on what I preached on. So, but anyway, those are my Thursday thoughts. I appreciate you joining me. I'd like to know what your Thursday thoughts are. If you want to leave me a comment. And as always, I'll remind you, if you don't mind, go over to YouTube and check out my YouTube channel. All these Thursday's thoughts are on there, plus some other stuff. And I plan to continue to put some other stuff on there. And I'd love comments over there, and subscriptions would be wonderful if you wanted to subscribe so you get notified anytime I put something up. But leave me some feedback, what you like, what you don't like, those types of things. So that'll help me just to know if I'm heading in the right direction or not. But anyway, hope you have a wonderful Friday and then weekend. And I hope that you are able to allow God to direct your path and be where He wants you to be when He wants you to be there. Don't forget Sunday morning. We're right here at 10 o'clock on the Westside Baptist Facebook live stream from our drive-in service. And if you're in Elba, come by and join us at the drive-in service there at Westside Baptist Church. And you'll be able to participate out in the grass there and from your car. And it's not ideal. It's not the perfect thing, but it's what we got to do right now. And God's getting glory from it. And that's what's exciting to me, is that as long as we make ourselves available, He can receive the glory from it. So be encouraged. Have a great weekend. Maybe I'll see you. I hope to see you on Sunday, or at least see your name on the live stream if you're not at the drive-in service. And I'll see you next Thursday when, again, we talk about our Thursday's thoughts. Goodbye and have a good weekend.